In the name of God, the most merciful, the most beneficent. NSMSH Holy Academy Lecture. This is chapter 25, Financial Accounting, Accounting for Other Special Transactions. And in part A, we had already studied insurance claim for loss of stock. And now in part B, we will be covering insurance claim for loss of profit. Not just the assets, but the hidden profits also are destroyed. See, this is what, if there is any fire or any catastrophe, so if there is an accident like damage occur, and we consider that okay, there will be an asset or stock that will be destroyed, so the cost of that can be claimed. That is one thing. But there is also the hidden profits also are destroyed, that we should understand. What does that mean? If we hold that stock without any damage, we could continue our sales and we will get revenue, and for that revenue we will get some gross profit, net profit, some profits and all these things. But what happens in the event that fire occurred, that stocks damage, so until we recover it during the period of indemnity, like for example, in the period of indemnity means from the date of that damage occurs till we continue our business into normal situation, so that maybe 3 months or 4 months or 1 year, like that, So during that period, if we had the stock, we could continue our turnover and then accordingly we will have the profit. But now because of that situation, so we will not have that profit. Another thing, we will have additional expenses, etc. So that is all coming loss of profit. So that loss of profit also part of our insurance claim, that should be. That is what we are going to discuss here. So loss of stock plus loss of profit becomes the insurance claim, and it is based on the contract of indemnity. Okay, indemnity na repeat contract of indemnity, and we cover in this loss of profit, we cover the loss due to fire, flood, theft, earthquake, etc. based on the agreement as per the contract of indemnity, the insurance policy. That's what you have to understand. Okay, this loss of stock was covered in part A, and now we are discussing loss of profit in part B. So the loss of profit policy normally covers the following major items. Loss of net profit, we will be discussing what is net profit, and standing charges, or we can call it as fixed overhead, that also we will discuss, and any increased cost of working, because after the damage, in order to replenish, to put back all the things into normal situation, we need a lot of additional cost. So that is any increased cost of working, or we can say additional expenses. So the claim for loss of profit should cover that loss of net profit and standing charges, then any increased cost of working. So that is what we have to understand, that thing. The loss of net profit is that business is interrupted due to damage of premises, so the net profit is affected. Then we have standing charges. We will see what is standing charges. This is like, even if there is a damage and all, the business can be stopped for a while, but these charges cannot be stopped. Like for example, salary, directors remuneration, boarding and lodges, expenses and all this. We will see all this in detail. Okay, and renting of temporary premises, additional temporary staff and all these things for additional expenses that we do that. So insurance for loss of profit is limited to loss of gross profit due to reduction in turnover. Turnover means sales. Reduction in turnover during the indemnity period, and increase in the cost of working. Additional working, additional expenses. Here are the steps to calculate the computation of insurance claim for based on the loss of profit policy. So first we have to calculate the gross profit percentage, and then indemnity period turnover, then adjusted standard turnover, which means during the previous period corresponding to the same period of indemnity period turnover. So supposing if the indemnity period is 4 months, so we have to take the exact same 4 months duration from the previous period immediately preceding the damage, the incident occurred. Okay, so that is the idea. And short sales is a simple computation that you will know that it is only based on the short sales is on the adjusted standard turnover minus IPTO, the indemnity period turnover. And then loss of profits also simple calculation that based on the short sales and then apply the gross profit percentage that we calculated in the first step. Then additional expenses, then total loss calculated again based on the loss of profit plus additional expenses minus savings in standard charges which will be given in the question or it will be available in the company. Then claim amount will be have to calculate. For all these things we have the formulas in the template, we will see that and then we will apply with the examples to understand very well. Okay, the gross profit percentage calculation is the first item using this template. So for which we need net profit. Let us understand what is net profit and then one by one. Okay, NP, ISC, turnover, all these things, let's understand that. Net profit, the net trading profit resulting from the business of the insured at the premises after due provision has been made for all standing and other charges including depreciation. We know that from final accounts preparation we know what is gross profit and net profit. So this is the same thing. But what we exclude from here is we exclude all non-operating income. We actually exclude all capital receipts and payments, which normally we do while we calculate the final accounts also. But here we take care that non-operating income also we exclude, which is income from investment for the purpose of insurance indemnity. So that is important. So in the normal profit and loss account, we may include non-operating income also. But here for the purpose of insurance claim, we have to exclude those things. Okay, the next item for the purpose of gross profit percentage calculation is that insured standing charges. Okay, standing charges are fixed overhead charges are to be paid even if there is a reduction in turnover or stoppage of work, which means standing charges, or we can call it as fixed overhead charges. Even if the business is stopped, these charges are continuing. We will see what are the items, for example, like salaries and other things. We will see that in detail in the next slide. So what we should understand is that the insurance policy may cover all items of these kind of insurable standing charges, but maybe a few of them may not be covered also. So that's why we call it as insured standing charges and non-insured standing charges. So totally we call it as all standing charges, and out of which more major portions are like insured standing charges. That's how we calculate. But why do we do these things? Under the loss of profit insurance, the gross profit means net profit plus insured standing charges. So normally gross profit percentage is calculated on gross profit. So that is what here. Net profit plus insured standing charges meaning is the gross profit. Okay, so that is the idea of that. So example standing charges that we will see like interest on debentures, mortgage loans, bank overdrafts, rent, rates and taxes. So sometimes in the net profit some taxes are already taken as expenses. Those items will not be included here. And depreciation of fixed assets can be taken. Salaries to permanent and wages to skilled employees, permanent staff, okay, salary, and some skilled employees we give wages weekly, something like that. So that also, if cannot be avoided, it has to be considered as standing charges. And directors, some directors remuneration cannot be avoided, and their boarding and lodging also will continue. So that expenses. And then some sundry standing charges. Sundry standing charges which are restricted to 5% of the total of specified insured standing charges. Some of the items which are not mentioned as insured standing charges, can be covered as sundry standing charges, and the total amount should not exceed more than 5% of the total specified insured standing charges. That is only by the insurance claim it is acceptable, up to 5%. That's what we have to understand. So in gross profit percentage calculation, the turnover, the adjusted annual turnover is the last item. So adjusted annual turnover, the turnover during the 12 months immediately before the date of damage. So that is what important. If that is the date of damage is given, so preceding 12 months is the annual period that we have to calculate, and the turnover for that period is the things that we have to calculate, and then it has to be adjusted with the trend. Turnover is like sales value. If the trend is like 10% increase in sales, that means the trend is increasing. So whatever the annual turnover is given, so 10% we have to add it. If it is a minus trend, which means downward trend, so we have to deduct it. So that is, it is adjusted with plus or minus trend for the purpose of loss of profit calculation. In order to help the student to understand this formula, so it is simple. This is the same thing, but it's put in one line like that. So we can understand that the gross profit ratio is net profit plus insured standing charges divided by the turnover multiplied by 100. So that's what is mentioned here. So this is the formula. It may be given in your textbook also. So you have to understand well. The gross profit percentage is the rate of gross profit earned on turnover or sales during the financial year immediately before the date of damage. That is what the previous 12 months before the date of damage. So that is what the turnover we have to take it. So the gross profit is the total of the net profit plus insured standing charges. So that is what. Okay. Supposing if there is no net profit available in the question or in the in your real life situation in the company, you can calculate. If there is no net profit, that means there can be a loss also. So that is important, you have to understand. So how do you arrive at that things is that you have to calculate. If there is no net profit, the amount would be insured standing charges less such a proportion of any net trading loss. So how do you do? So insured standing charges, so this is the thing, so we take that, and then minus, so we have to compute these things, like take the net trading loss multiplied by insured standing charges, the same amount, divided by all standing charges put together. For example, in a company, all standing charges put together is 50,000, but maybe insured standing charges are only 40,000. So we have to take 40,000 minus, if the net loss is 20,000, so 20,000 multiplied by that 40,000 divided by 50,000. So that's how the formula is to be taken here. Here the gross profit rate is calculated if net profit is given, that we have seen already. Okay, net profit is given, net profit plus insured standing charges divided by turnover into 100. But in case of loss also we have studied insured standing charges minus net loss divided by turnover into 100. If all the standing charges are not insured, the amount of net loss will have to be reduced as follows. So net loss multiplied by insured standing charges divided by all standing charges. So these are the formulas available in your textbook also. You can just read and practice it. The next item in our template of solution, that we have to calculate the indemnity period turnover. So in which we should understand what is indemnity period and indemnity period turnover accordingly. The length of time for which benefits or compensation is payable under an insurance policy. For example, if we have an insurance policy, what is the indemnity period that they will be covering, giving the benefit or maybe giving the compensation based on our claim. That means from the date of catastrophe to till that recovery period, and as per the insurance policy. There are limitations also, not more than 12 months like that. Okay. So the indemnity period usually is given even in the question also. So we can easily understand, take that indemnity period, and accordingly we can also get that indemnity period turnover. If the turnover is given and indemnity period is also given, so we can calculate from the 12 months turnover. So what are the 4 months, what are the period from to, and so that we can arrive at indemnity period turnover. So that is how we do that. The length of time for which benefits compensation is payable under an insurance policy. The period beginning with the occurrence of the damage and ending not later than 12 months. Usually the indemnity period coverage is for maximum of 12 months. Okay, and some of the clauses can be in some of the contract can be 12 months or 24 months or 36 months. That is also there. But in default, it is not exceeding 12 months. That we should understand. So indemnity period turnover, this is the amount of actual turnover during that particular indemnity period. The next one in our template is the adjusted standard turnover to be calculated. What we should understand is the adjusted standard turnover to the similar period of the previous year immediately preceding the damage. That's what we should understand. Supposing if the indemnity period is 4 months or maybe the last quarter of the year, then we have to take the previous year turnover and the last quarter of that previous year turnover. So like that. If it is the second quarter, we have to take that second quarter turnover. If it is 4 months period during from let's say from 1st of September to till 31st December, then we have to take the previous year turnover from 1st of September to 31st December. This is how simple that standard turnover. And standard turnover has to be adjusted if there was any trend is given, okay, to be added or to be reduced if it is a diminishing trend. So adjusted standard turnover, the turnover during that period in the 12 months immediately before the date of damage, which corresponds with the indemnity period. That is the important point. We have to take the previous year trend turnover, and that is should correspond with the indemnity period. For example, if it is a total annual turnover is given for 1 year and indemnity period is 4 months only, and there is no detail about which quarter or which period in the previous the standard turnover can take. So what we can take is that just only take the 4 months or 3 months, whatever the proportionate amount from the standard turnover. That's how simple. If indemnity period is 4 months, then take 4 months of the similar period. For example, if it is starting from second quarter, first quarter, or January, whatever month, similar period, immediately before the date of damage. So that is important. Example, if indemnity period is the second quarter, then take the second quarter of the previous year immediately before the date of damage. It is adjusted with plus minus trend for the purpose of loss of profit. Short sales. So short sales, shortage of sales, that is we have to calculate, and that's the fourth item. So based on the shortage of sales, then we can compute what is the profit loss. So we have to calculate that short sales, and the formula is given that adjusted standard turnover minus indemnity period turnover. Okay. For example, indemnity period is 4 months. So the standard turnover for 4 months we calculate, and we adjust it with the trend, and then we deduct the indemnity period turnover, we get the short sales. So what does that mean? What should be actually the normal situation? What should be the sales? And because of that indemnity situation, because of the damage occurred, the sales is reduced. So what is the short? So that is what we are computing, the short sales. Okay. So that's the computation of short sales is given. So normally this is the template that we use to compute the short sales. Suppose some question comes, so we can use this template. So this is a simple. So what we do is that, so here we take the standard turnover, calculate for that period, increase any turnover trend. So we add, supposing 10%, we calculate 10%, and if it is if it is not increase, if it is a downward trend, so that we less deduct it by that percentage, so that we get the adjusted standard turnover, and then we deduct the actual turnover during indemnity period, which is called IPTO. Then we get the short sales. So that's how we calculate that. The term short sales refers to the loss of sales due to the dislocation of business. You know, business has been dislocated due to that damage. Okay, it is the difference between standard turnover and actual turnover during that period of time. What should be the actual sales if it is a normal, that is standard turnover, and what is actually the turnover due to the indemnity period, the situation, the loss situation, the damage situation. So we take the short sales, I mean the loss of sales. So that is what we calculate here. So now the fifth item in this template, then we come to loss of profit. So gross profit percentage and indemnity period turnover, we calculated the adjusted standard turnover and then short sales, and then based on, once we get the short sales, we get what is actually the loss of profit, because it is not, the loss is not the sales, the loss is the profit margin on that sales. So that's why we apply sort of sales with on the gross profit percentage. So the loss due to reduction in turnover is calculated by applying the gross profit rate to reduction in turnover. So that's how we calculate. The next one in our solution template is a bit of interesting one, where we have to find out what are the additional expenses, and there are three ways of calculation available as a method of calculating the, finding the additional expenses for taking out whichever is the lesser value for the purpose of adding into the insurance claim. So increase in cost of working, this is called, either we can call it as increase in cost of working or additional expenses. Questions also will be given in either way term. Okay, so from the above three ways of possible calculation that we are going to see with some example, these three ways of calculation based on the information available in the company or in the question exam point of view. We need to take the lowest amount after calculating, whichever is the lowest, that we have to take it for further down. So that's the idea. One is that the actual additional expenses, which is plain value that is already given, or sometimes additional sales value is given, so we take the gross profit rate and accordingly we find out value here, gross profit on additional sales. Or if these are not available or available, we have got this value also, like net profit and insured standing charges. So total together, that means gross profit multiplied by increased cost of working, increased working cost, which means additional expenses, divided by total of the net profit plus all standing costs, standing charges, all standing charges. So if we have the values put into this formula, so we take three values, like say, and whatever among these three values, whatever is the lowest one, that has to be taken as additional expenses for the purpose of our calculation. So additional expenses, that is increase in cost of working. Okay, so from the above three way of calculation, so what we have seen, the three way of calculation, we need to take the lowest amount, that we have seen that. Let us understand the additional expenditure necessarily and reasonably incurred for the sole purpose of avoiding or diminishing the reduction in turnover, which but for that expenditure would have taken place during the indemnity period in consequence of the damage, but not exceeding the sum produced by applying the rate of gross profit to the amount of the reduction thereby avoided. What does that mean? The additional expenses incurred for the purpose of restarting the business, replenishing the things, I mean putting back everything into normal situation so that our business become normal. So all the expenses. But that total amount of that additional expenses for the purpose of insurance claim calculation should not exceed the sum produced by applying the rate of gross profit to the amount of the reduction thereby avoided. So only we make these additional expenses if there is a damage, there is a reduction of turnover, and that is we are trying to avoid it. So if we calculate what is the gross profit on that turnover, and that amount should not, that is the limitation, okay, the additional expenses should not exceed that kind of calculation. That's why the three ways of calculation, we take the lowest amount as additional expenses for the purpose of insurance. So what are the items that could be as part of the additional expenses besides air freighting or additional rent for temporary premises, outsourcing of manufacture to a competitor or contract manufacturer. See, for example, our factory is damaged, so that we outsource the manufacturing work quickly with some other another contractor, and advertising campaign is needed to win back lost or disgruntled customer, because customers are disgruntled, so that they are not satisfied with our business, so that we have to attract them to give again, come back to become a loyal customer for us. So advertisement is there. The hire of temporary plant and our equipment, overtime payment to staff, and the temporary employment of additional staff. Sometimes we need more staff, additional employees, so in order to clear the damaged things, to repair things, replenish things. So all these things become part of the additional expenses. Let's see this example. In order to calculate the increased working expenses, how do we calculate the increased working expenses? For an example, we take that we are given the net profit and short sales, rate of gross profit percentage, increased working expenses, and insured standing charges and uninsured standing cost, standing charges, short sales avoided through increased cost of working. So these are the things. Now there are three formulas that we have studied in the template. So let's see one by one. Okay. So the amount of increased working expenses will be the lowest of the two limits. One is that net profit plus insured standing charges divided by net profit plus all standing charges multiplied by increased cost of working. Okay. So we take that 10,000 plus 4,000, which is the insured standing charges, divided by the 10,000, which is net profit, plus the uninsured standing charges also become the all standing charges. So that means 4 plus 2 become all standing charges. Okay. Then multiplied by that actual, the increased working expenses. Okay. So that is the ratio. So we get that 437.50 as one calculation. Second calculation is the short sales avoided through the increased cost of working multiplied by rate of gross profit. So what is the short sales avoided? Short sales avoided through the increased cost of working is 3,000. So 3,000 gross profit percentage is 15%. So we take 15%. So we get 450. So when we compare both 437.50 or 450, the lowest is 437.50. So this is the increased working expenses allowed. Okay. The third one is that totally the increased working expenses is 500 is given. So this is the highest. Suppose if the increased working expenses is the lowest, so we will take that lowest. So among the three that we take, that's a idea. So here the template fully. So we get gross profit percentage, and then indemnity period turnover, then adjusted standard turnover plus minus trend, then short sales, loss of profit, and then additional expenses. We take one of the lowest from this, then we get the total loss. So how do we calculate the total loss? Because we take the loss of profit, and then we take the additional expenses, and then minus saving in standing charges. Normally In the company it will be figure available. In the exam question this figure will be given. Saving in standing charge. So we have to deduct that. So that we get the total loss. Okay. So after the total loss, then the next step is the claim amount. Okay. Finally, we get the claim amount. So based on the total loss multiplied by the policy amount and divided by the gross profit adjusted annual turnover. So a claim, this is general note that we should understand. A claim for loss of profits can be established only if the insured premises or the property therein are destroyed or damaged. என்ன அந்த பாலிசி கவர் பண்ணிருக்கோம் அந்த பொருள் சேதாரமாயிருக்கணும். So that is important. And the insured business carried on the premises is interrupted or interrupted. Even that address, that location, that premises has to be affected. That should be mentioned in the policy also. So that is very important. So okay. So dear students, we have discussed about this template. Okay. And can you imagine why should I colored it here and then colored it here differently than the overall same color of this template? So the difference is that most likely these informations and these informations are available in the company, or it can be part of the questions that you will get the information in order to compute. You need to look for the information in order to compute this value here. But here already computed value, from the already computed value you can easily take it. You don't need to look for the questions because it is already there. Adjusted STO and IPTO already computed, so you just calculate it. And the loss of profit, you just take the short sales and gross profit percentage, so to compute that. Then again you look for the question to get these things, and then sometimes the questions may not give the value, so you can treat it like additional expenses may not be there, so just say it as 0. Okay. Then total loss, partly information you can take it from this computation, and some of the information you may need still look for questions. For example, loss of profit is already there, additional expenses also already there, but saving in standing charges will be given in the question. If not, you just treat it as 0. Okay. And then claim amount, also the same case. The total loss is there and policy amount may be given in the question. Okay. And the gross profit percentage is already available in the annual turnover and all this thing. You may need to look from the question. So that is how it should be looked for. If the policy amount is not given, so you can assume that it is fully covered, so that the total loss, you don't need to calculate this policy amount calculation. Okay, so that is the understanding you should make it. Now we understood this template. Now in light of this template, we will take some illustration and try to solve it. We will just try 2 exercises that will be given in your study material, so the students can have that study material also with you while looking at this presentation, so that you can fully understand how to resolve this kind of problem questions. Okay. An example question, so that we can try to solve it in light of this template that we have practiced. Let's read this example question and then one by one we will see this. Let the students read this screen, or this is part of your study material. Those CMA students can take this illustration 33 on your study material, take that and keep it with you while you watch this video, so that you can understand very well. Okay. Okay, so now we got the question, the same question we have taken, and we are just highlighting the 3 items that we have to take to complete the first box in our solution table. Okay, which is the gross profit percentage that we have to find out. So for finding the gross profit percentage, we know the formula: net profit and insured standing charges, and then the percentage turnover of previous period. So these are given in the question. These are the 3 items. So we take that value, and then we take that value So we get the gross profit percentage as 20.70%. And then we come to the next item, which is also given in the question. The turnover for the indemnity period is already given. So 28,000, we take that value. Okay, so we take that value. In the box is the adjusted standard turnover with a plus minus trend. So we get that also the turnover for the period from 1712 to 3112 December 2012, which is 55,000. So we know that 10% of the increase in turnover trend, 10%, so that we take the 10%, so that we calculate the 60,500. So that is the adjusted standard turnover. So we calculate the short of sales, which is the adjusted standard turnover minus the IPTO, which is indemnity period turnover, which is coming 32,500. Then we go to the loss of profit. The loss of profit is calculated based on the short sales, which is 32,500, and then gross profit percentage, which is 20.7%, and comes to 6,730. So we got that loss of profit. In the question, there is no detail about the additional expenses, so we ignore. We put 0 for this purpose of, for this question we ignore, because 0 there is no need of comparison. So here is the question. So all details are there. So we know that the total loss become 6,730, but the insured value is 25,000. So we need not calculate the claim amount, because it is already, because even if we calculate, the amount is greater than the gross loss. Okay, why? Because because the gross profit percentage on the turnover of the sales during for that previous year, it itself, for the indemnity period itself, is coming to 20,700, but the claim amount is sum insured is more than this amount, 20,700. So therefore we need not worry about the loss of total loss. Will we calculate the claim amount? We take the total loss as our claim amount. So the total loss is 6,730, which will be our claim amount. So that's how, because if we calculate, then it is coming 8,128. Normally the insurance company will not pay. The insurance company will pay only the actual total loss. Okay, so that's why we stop it here. So this is how we conclude this example question. So same question, another way of presentation. The student should understand, if the question is very short, simple, and without giving details of additional expenses, such and such things solved, and it is a very lesser mark question, short answer question type. So you can use this kind of method. Just calculate the gross profit rate and then short sales and come to the gross claim. So by this method also we can use it, which is also part of your study material available. You can use that also. You don't need to use the full template for a very short question to present it, so that it will take time also. So all the template I put it is for you to understand the full picture. Okay, you take the full picture in your mind, you understand everything, but read the question. If the question is very short and talking about one particular thing, some of the question will ask you only about short sales only. Some of the question will ask you about calculate the gross profit rate only and gross claim only. Like that you can easily simply use that portion only to calculate and complete it. No need to take the full template. Next question, it is also available in your study material of the CMA, but still for the sake of one more example to explain, so that clearly to understand. With slight complications, students will benefit. And then we will stop at this lecture with this example, so that what you can do is read, go to all other illustration exercises in your study material, try to do all exercises, and if you have any doubt, question, raise it to me, to my email or WhatsApp, so that I can send you a PDF document with work solved examples with some explanation also. Okay, if it is a very short clarification of doubts, I can also give you by voicemail to you directly, or I can call for a Zoom meeting to explain to the students, my students. Okay. For the new question also, that we will take the same template, so that we will try to solve it by using this template. Students in the examination can use just this part of the template only to recall, like a working sheet on your answer sheet, so that you can complete the answer. By the side you can write all calculations. All you need just is, for each thing you need to remember the formula, that's it. You don't need to write the full template, so that it will take time also. So you just write quickly GP, IPTO, ASTO, like that. Okay, so and write, calculate that, and then put that relevant portion only in your answer sheet. So that is simple, so that you can give that thing. Whatever, it depends on the question, so you can do this way. Okay. Okay. Now, first we have to calculate the gross profit percentage. So formula is given, net profit and all that we know already. So what we have to do is that we have to find out from this question where is the net profit and ISC and then turnover. So we have to see this. The net profit is given here in the question, 20,000. So we take that. And then the ISC, which is the insured standing charges. So it is given like the annual insurable standing charges. Insurable standing charges is 30,000, of which 2,000 were not included. That means the insured standing charges are 30,000 minus 2,000 is 28,000. So that becomes the 28,000 comes here. And then we have to take the turnover of previous period. So the turnover of previous period is the 2012, the previous period, which comes to 2,40,000. So this value. So we take that. So that is 2,40,000. So we apply this formula. After we arrive at gross profit percentage 20%, then the next step is that we need to calculate the IPTO, which is indemnity period turnover. And indemnity period turnover is given here. How do we take this 15,000? Is because the fire in the premises is 1/9/2013. So the business activities were interrupted until 31st December 2013. So that means the indemnity period is starting from 1st of September 2013 to 31st December 2013. That is 4 months. That 4 months period's turnover is given because it is given like each 4 months values are given for 2012 and 2013. And the last one is that December 31 in 2013 is this last one. So therefore the 15,000 is the indemnity period turnover. So the activities that we are taking from 1st September 13 to 31st 12/13. So that is 15. The next item, adjusted standard turnover. So how do we pick the standard turnover and then adjust it? So what we have to do by definition, the standard turnover of the previous period corresponding to the indemnity period. So we know that indemnity period is from 1st of September 2013 to 31st December 2013. That is available in this slot. So the corresponding is in the previous year the same period, which is 1st of September 2012 to 31st December 2012. So that is the thing. So we take that 95,000 as the standard turnover. So that is the idea of that. So therefore the adjusted stand, there is no adjustment given in this question. So we take that particular thing as the standard turnover. The next item that we need to find out is the sort of sales and loss of profit. The sort of sales and loss of profit can be calculated from the values already found as above. GP percentage we got it, and IPTO we got it, and adjusted standard turnover we got it. So based on that, when we apply this formula, so we got that standard turnover is 95,000, and then IPTO is 15,000, so we got 80,000 as short sales. And then loss of profit, when we get this short sales, so we apply the gross profit percentage, we get 16,000 as loss of profit. Then we have to get the additional expenses which is available in the question. So the additional cost of, in the question it is given, the additional cost of working or mitigating damage is 600. So we take the first box, that additional expenses 600 is given, so let us put this here. There is no gross profit on additional sales, so additional sales figure is not given, so just ignore it. And then we have to take the, we have to try to see this formula applied based on that net profit and insured standing charges divided by net profit plus all insured standing charges, that all insured standing charges, that comes like that, okay, multiplied by the additional expenses. Additional expenses is 500. So when you apply this formula, so that is the net 20,000 plus 28,000 divided by net profit again 20,000 and plus 30,000, which is full standing charges, all including, see, because insurable standing charges was given in the question 30,000, but 2,000 was deducted because it was not covered under insurance, so therefore it came 28,000. Now we take that way, like insured standing charges, net profit plus insured standing charges here, and the net profit plus all standing charges here, so, and apply the additional expenses that we paid. So then we get 576. When you put 576, so among these two, the lesser amount is 576. So we take that, and then we come to, okay, now we have to find the total loss. So the total loss is again given from the formula plus some additional information that we need to take from the questions. So we know that loss of profit, total loss is given by the formula loss of profit plus additional expenses minus saving in standing charges. So loss of profit is given 16,000. Then we have the additional expenses we found 576 minus that the saving insured standing charges in consequence of the fire amount amounted to 1,500 is given in the question. So we take that detail, so that we arrive at the total loss 15,076. And then we finally have to calculate the claim amount. So the claim amount is given by the formula, that is the total loss, which is 1576 multiplied by the policy amount, because we have the average class, because it is not fully covered insurance. It is, the policy amount is restricted to 42,000, so which is given in the question. So we take the total loss multiplied by the policy amount divided by the 49,000, which is, we arrive at the gross profit on annual turnover. So we take the annual turnover given in the question, so the total comes to 2,45,000. So when we apply the gross profit percentage on that, we get 49,000. So that 49,000 is applied here, so that we get 12,922. I wonder that from where do I get that 2,45,000 for the purpose of calculating the gross profit rate on annual turnover. So the previous 12 months preceding to the loss incident occurred is 2,45,000. That is very much visible from the question given table. So the question is giving the table from 2012 to 2013 for each 4 months in this table. So we know that the incident occurred on 1st of September, starting from that. So the previous 4 months period is 80,000, and before that is 70,000, and the previous year, the last 4-month period is 95,000. So when we add this 3 period, which is 3 into 4 is 12 months, so 1 year. So we take that 2,45,000. So that means the immediately preceding to the incident occurred date, 12 months period, we have to take it, on which we have to apply that 20%, that is the gross profit percentage, so that we arrive at the amount, the gross profit rate on the annual turnover, which is 49,000. So that is what we have taken for the purpose of this calculation. Okay, now we got the fully completed table and the response, the answers. Okay, the claim amount is 12,932. Students can verify from your textbook also that though it may be given in a different template, but what you have to understand is the calculation is the same, but this template, I believe, that will give you an idea of how methodically you can calculate and arrive at the figure very easily. As I said earlier, is that these are the things that we take it from the question and calculate it based on this formula, and this will be from the table you can calculate it, and then this is also that we have to take the choice whichever is lesser. Then we easily arrive at based on the above calculation with some information available in the question, like saving in standing charges and annual turnover calculation based on the gross profit percentage. And here is my contact details so that the students can take and give me a call if you have any doubt, or if you need any recommendation, or if you want to suggest that I have to give priority to any chapter concerning your studies. Thank you.